Peace and blessings. I hope all is well to you. My name is Kevin Huckabee for What the Huck Presents. And like before, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. This storycast is about mental health, where the characters are dealing with their personality differences. Yes, I call them differences because it's only a disorder if you allow it to disorder your life. Shout out to mom for that one. Okay, this episode is personal for me, as it is about ADHD, which I was diagnosed with at the age of 15. And we are going to go with the DSM-5's definition of what ADHD is. And for those who don't know, the DSM-5 is like the manual that psychotherapists and psychologists use when they're dealing with things like this. Okay, so the DSM-5 says a persistent pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity, impulsivity that interferes with daily functioning or development, okay? And again, you have to have these symptoms. They have to be present for at least 6 months. That's at the least 6 months, right? And then for children up to the age of 16, they have to have 6 or more symptoms. And then for adolescents and adults, you only have to have 5 symptoms, maybe. And look, I keep it a stack with you. I get personal with you. Some of my symptoms are stuff like unsustained focus. Sometimes I have a difficulty to remain focused on things like lectures. Like it'll start boring me, right? I'll start tuning out. I can be disorganized. But the crazy thing is, I know where everything is, but it just looks crazy to other people. Okay, sometimes you struggle with time or keeping materials orderly, or sometimes for me is I'm easily distracted. That goes to the unsustained focus thing, right? Like sometimes I'll be thinking about something and then be like, oh, what's that? A squirrel. Oh, look at that squirrel. They're mating in the tree right now. Just stuff like that. And also the hyperactive part, fidgeting. I am a leg jumper, man. Like I fidget, my leg jumps, I pick at my fingers, all that kind of stuff. Restlessness is hard for me to sit still for too long. I could be sitting there looking at a movie or a show I want to see and be like, yeah, I need to go do something, and then pause it. That's the beautiful thing about watching something where you can pause it, man. You can get up and just also another one is I have this thing where they call it you're driven by a motor, and it goes back kind of to restlessness. Like you just can't sit for too long, or sometimes you internalize it and you're always like, okay, I gotta go. Okay, what's next? Let's go. So ADHD, man, it might sound funny sometimes, but it can get on your nerves. It can get on your nerves bad because, you're trying to do something or you're trying to accomplish something, then this right here starts to happen. Like what I'm doing. I'm having an ADHD moment right now, right here in front of you. You see that? I started talking and getting into stuff. Anyway, okay, look, I'm about to shut up and get to the episode. It's called Wednesday, Billy, ADHD. Let's go. Okay, it's Wednesday morning, 6:55 a.m., and as Billy's eyes pop open, he thinks to himself, thank you, Lord, for another day. He then reaches for his phone to dismiss the alarm set to go off at 7:05 a.m. and thinks again to himself, not too bad, B-man. I'm starting to get the hang of this schedule thing. Billy gets up, pulls out his earplugs, and immediately reaches for his earbuds to take their place. He pulls up his music app on his phone and starts his energy playlist, and then reaches for his lion's mane mushroom gummies. As he does this, his mind flashes back to the second week of group session. You want me to try what, Dr. J? Shrooms? Oh, man. The only drug I ever tried when I was younger was a little grass, and I had to stop doing that because it made me paranoid, man. Like I thought everybody was watching me and knew I was high, man. No, Doc. Dr. J, realizing Billy is losing a little focus, interrupts calmly with, Billy, I'm not talking about shrooms. I'm talking about the actual mushroom called lion's mane. I've been doing some research, and the studies are starting to show that in a lot of cases, Lion's mane can help with cognitive function, memory, healthy mood, clarity, and focus, and you can take it right alongside your magnesium L-threonate or your magnesium glycinate. Okay, doc, okay. Now, the focus thing and healthy mood is something I really need help with, huh? Exactly. Gotcha, doc. I'll most def look into it, man. Billy is now engaging in an exercise routine that includes cardio and body weight training set to timers on his phone, as he doesn't have to be at work until 9 a.m. With up-tempo hip-hop and R&B music pouring into his ears, Billy has another flashback to the same session where Dr. J told him about the lion's mane. In between his sets, he thinks, also, Billy, if you can make the time, engaging in exercise can be helpful to you too, especially if you do some cardio. Really, Dr. J? Why is that? Well, the research shows that cardio can trigger the release of endorphins, norepinephrine, and dopamine. Billy's face switches from one with an inquisitive look to one of amusement as he says, "Oh yeah, man, that dopamine is the only dope I want, man." Eliciting laughs from Dr. J and the rest of the group. Dr. J adds, "Also, it helps to regulate your distractibility and hyperactivity, and doing it regularly can build better memory, planning capacity, and impulse control." Yeah, man. I need that impulse control, bruh. Maybe that can help keep me from getting involved with certain kinds of folks, if you know what I mean, man. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and all that. The group laughs again, with Purvis quickly interjecting while pointing at Billy. "You talking about them no good women seals." Exactly. Lord knows, I love trying to fix a bird with a broken wing, man, Billy says, shaking his head and laughing with the rest of the group. Dr. J, with a smile, continues. "One last thing to add to working out, since ADHD makes you more prone to boredom, is it's okay to switch out your workout routines to keep your brain stimulated." Just then, the timer for his rest period in between sets sounds, and Billy finishes out the rest of his workout routine. Wiping the sweat from his closely shaved head with his towel, Billy now pulls out his maintenance uniform and lays it across his bed, sticking to a scheduled list of things that Dr. J helped him come up with that he's now committed to memory. As Billy removes his earbuds to head to the bathroom to get cleaned up, the TV catches his attention with a blurb about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. As Billy is about to lock in on the TV, 4 words pop into his mind that he says out loud, along with the memory of Dr. J saying them. Stay mindful and present. With that, Billy reaches for the remote and turns the TV off and heads to the bathroom. As he engages in his bathroom routine, Billy switches to his old school R&B and funk list, which is a collection of music that was played in his household when he was a kid. As Michael Jackson's "Got Me Working Day and Night" plays, Billy is getting a mean two-step on while brushing his teeth and humming along to the music. Oh no. Another tool from Dr. J that Billy is applying. He remembers Dr. J saying, "Look, when you have to do certain tasks, pair it with something you really enjoy, like listening to a podcast or..." "What about music, Doc?" "That's perfect, Billy." Billy keeps the music going while in the shower, singing and grooving as he washes himself, all the while sticking to his timers he has set. As he finishes his bathroom routine, gets dressed, and leaves his apartment, Billy's mind flashes back to the session where he remembers Dr. J saying, "Now, when you're driving, put your phone out of reach, but make sure you have a good playlist playing before you pull off, since you like music. Billy, still recalling the session, remembers leaning forward with his hands clasped and elbows on his knees, absorbing what Dr. J is saying with a response and a question. Okay. I could do that, but hey, Doc, what if I start to zone out while driving? With Martin, who has anxiety, quickly saying, whoa, that sounds dangerous. Well, it ain't like I'm Mad Max, Martin. It's just my mind gets to going, says a slightly perturbed Billy, with Dr. J saying, it's fine, guys. Well, Billy, besides staying mindful and present, practice active scanning, meaning don't just stare straight. Force your eyes to constantly scan, like, checking your speedometer, your rear view mirror, your side mirrors, and your blind spots regularly. Billy now sits up straight with his head turned in an angle, like he's aiming his chin covered by his full beard at Dr. J, and asks, okay, Doc, what about if I come across one of these complete butt heads while driving? You know what I'm talking about? The kind you wish you could bump off the road, like the ones going too slow in the fast lane. Know what I mean? The group laughs, with everyone nodding their head in agreement, except Martin, who sheepishly asks, "But what's wrong with going the speed limit?" Nothing. But stay your slow driving self in the far right lanes, man. Causing more laughs, with Dr. J chuckling himself and calming the group down. Okay, guys. Well, Billy, remember, block out distractions. And also, make sure your driving playlist has some feel-good music. With Billy having everything straight for his drive, he departs the Redbird area of Oak Cliff, headed for the Dallas suburb of DeSoto, Texas. Arriving with 5 minutes to spare, Billy smiles to himself thinking, man, using these timers got the kid on time like a mug. As Billy hops out of his late model navy blue SUV to head into the Motel 76 he's employed at, he notices Mr. Nguyen peering at him over his glasses from the manager's window. Mr. Nguyen taps his watch and points at Billy and says, make sure you get all of your work done today, Billy. The list is by the coffee and donuts. I got you, Mr. Nguyen, says Billy with a thumbs up. But his next thought is, God dang, that mother hucker is always on my back. I ain't got time for Mr. Nguyen right now. Let me go on and get to it, thinks Billy, remembering a tool Dr. J gave him to keep from ruminating. He flashes back to the same session and remembers Dr. J saying, okay, remember this, Billy. If something or someone worries you at work, create a worry window. It's where you take the worry and maybe write a note to yourself or keep the thought and tell yourself, I am not worrying about this until a time you designate to worry about it. Billy, back in the present, gets his work list and looks it over to see if he can apply another tool Dr. J gave him. If your job allows, try using the 1-3-5 rule. 1 major task, 3 medium tasks, and 5 small tasks to prevent ADHD paralysis, so you're not overwhelmed by your work or what you have to do. And don't forget the Pomodoro technique. And that technique is where you work for 25 or maybe 50 minutes at a time and take 5 minutes off. Billy marks the tasks on the list to indicate how to break the jobs up using the 1-3-5 rule and pops his trusty earbuds in to start up his old school R&B and funk playlist again, full of feel-good music, and sets out to get busy. First is heading to room 35 to replace a sink faucet which appears to be the lone major task of the day. Walking up to the door of room 35, he pauses his playlist to knock on the door saying, "Maintenance!" A slender, brown-skinned, cute woman in a robe opens the door and slowly flashes an inviting smile to Billy, filling him with a small bit of anxiety. Billy smiles nervously and asks, should I come back?" With the woman replying, "No, I'm glad you're here. My name is Daphne. Come on in." As Daphne opens the door wider for Billy to enter, he says, "Nice to meet you. I'm here to take care of the sink." Daphne says, "Well, I'm glad you're here. I've noticed you around and you're just in time." "Cool, I'll take care of this sink and get out of your way." "No, I mean, you're just in time to smoke with me," Daphne says with a smile, pointing to the nightstand next to the bed. Billy looks to where she's pointing to see a freshly rolled joint, causing his eyes to buck. He thinks to himself, "Oh man, a cute woman and a J? No, man, not now, homie." He then thinks of Mr. Nguyen's face and him tapping his watch, causing him to groan and shiver. He says, "No, ma'am, I have a schedule to keep that I really need to stick to." Remembering a tool Dr. J gave him as he was leaving the week 2 group, where he mentioned he loves trying to fix a bird with a broken wing. "Hey, Billy, before you go, let me give you one more important tool because I noticed you said you love trying to fix a bird with a broken wing." "Okay, shoot, Doc." "Well, when temptation strikes, try redirecting your focus, meaning immediately pivot to an activity that provides a safe rush of dopamine, something you can accomplish." Billy squints his eyes, purses his lips, and asks, "Like what, Doc?" "Like use the energy to work out or work on something you can hyperfixate on, like a project of some sort." "Oh, okay, gotcha, Doc." "One more thing. If someone gives you a compliment, don't dismiss it, because I know it can be hard for ADHDers to accept positive compliments due to a inner negative critic." Billy, looking at Dr. J in slight amazement, responds, "Man, you sure you ain't like Professor X, the bald-headed guy from the X-Men that can read minds?" They both laugh and say their goodbyes. With Billy back in the present, he gets locked into repairing Daphne's sink. Starting his 25-minute timer and his playlist, he knocks the job out in what seems like no time. He tells Daphne to have a good day as he leaves. "All right, ma'am. You have a good one," without stopping his playlist, and moves on to the rest of his work list for the day. With his workday done, it's now 5:45 p.m., and Billy looks at the list of jobs with check marks next to each one and smiles, saying to himself, "Done and done. You a bad man, Billy Jones." He removes his earbuds and places his tools in the utility closet in the back of the manager's office and closes the closet door, but jumps when he notices Mr. Nguyen, who was standing behind the open door, saying, "Whoa! Hey, man, why you standing there like Tupac in the locker scene from Juice?" "I don't know what you're talking about, but I just wanted to tell you, you've been doing a good job lately, Billy." Mr. Nguyen leans in slightly and peering over his glasses says, "Keep it up." Billy, remembering, don't dismiss the compliment, with one eyebrow up, says, "Thanks, Mr. Nguyen. I got you." Mr. Nguyen, now standing back straight with his usual stone face, says, "See you tomorrow. Have a good night." "All right, Mr. Nguyen, you do the same thing." Billy gets into his truck, starts his playlist for the drive, and heads back to the cliff, satisfied with his day. And there we have it, episode 3 of Group Therapy Wednesday, Billy, ADHD. Now, this is near and dear to my heart, like I said earlier, because I am an ADHDer, and this character is loosely based off of me. And these tools are real tools that I am actually using now almost every day. Okay. Did you catch those tools? If you missed them, here they are. First thing first, I wake up, I pray. Okay, now before somebody starts saying, "Oh, here you go with that Jesus stuff," Jesus didn't force himself on anybody. So I'm not finna force Jesus on you. I'm just telling you what worked for me. If you want to get down, then go right ahead. So I pray. Then I take my earplugs out because I sleep in earplugs because ADHDers can be sensitive to certain stimuli, like sounds for me when I'm trying to go to sleep can keep me awake. So take the earplugs out and immediately replace them with my earbuds and start my energy playlist. I grab my lion's mane gummies because some of the research is showing that lion's mane helps with clarity and focus and brain fog. Look into that yourself, research it. Lion's mane mushrooms and see what they do for you. Okay. The next thing you know you need to do, turn some light on, baby. Turn the light on because it helps the brain to start waking up, right? I grab my water with pre-workout in it. You need you some water. Drink you some water. That helps with brain fog when you wake up, okay? Now, when I'm drinking my water, I go ahead and I take my magnesium L-threonate, or you could take magnesium glycinate. These two forms of magnesium, the one I said first, being newer onto the market, but both of these have been proven to help with cognition. They help with focus. They help with clarity. Next, it's time for me to get into my workout, man. I work out. I do workouts that involve my body weight and some aerobics because the aerobics, they help with endorphins, neuroepinephrine, and dopamine, which for those who don't know, ADHDers are low on all of these things, especially dopamine, okay? Then the next thing is staying mindful and present. Sometimes you might even have to say this to yourself. Hey, what are you doing right now? Stay mindful, stay present. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Also, when you have to do tasks, and if you work or have a job that allows you to do this, pair it with something that you like. Like for me, it's music. Pair it with maybe you like listening to podcasts or story casts or whatever it may be. Pair it with something that you like. It helps you get through the job easier. And then when you're driving, put that phone out of sight. Also, if you notice, when I said I picked my phone up to start my playlist, I didn't say nothing about scrolling. Don't start scrolling. Put that phone down sometimes, man. It helps with your concentration and keeps you focused. And so you don't start venturing out and doing other things when you're supposed to be doing something, okay? Also, active scanning while driving. Keep your eyes moving. That way you don't zone out and get what they call that, hypnotized by the road. Okay. So keep your eyes scanning. Look at your speedometer. Look in your mirrors. Do all of that, man. All right. And when you get to work, do the 1-3-5 rule. One major project, 3 medium priority tasks, and 5 quick small things. And it helps. This helps prevent what's called ADHD paralysis, which is a real thing. Do some research on that, okay? Also, the technique that I use, this is the one I really use, the Pomodoro technique, okay? The Pomodoro technique says either work 25 to 50 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. Now, if you have the kind of job where you can do this, when you take your 5-minute break, man, don't just sit there. Get up, do a little 2-step to some music you might have on, walk around, go look outside, go do something in that little 5-minute break. Don't pick up that phone. Leave that phone alone. Once that 5-minute break is over, get back to it. 25 minutes on or 50 minutes on, and you'll be surprised how fast the work goes, how fast the time goes. And one thing that I would suggest that is so important, it's been very important to me. Timers, man. Set a timer for stuff. Time yourself. Like if you got to do, I know I got to wash these dishes. I don't want to do it. Set a timer. Set a timer, say, I'm gonna work on this for 10 to 15 minutes, right? And what happens is with an ADHD brain, because an ADHD brain thrives off of urgency and novelty sometimes, what happens is when you know that you have a deadline, the ADHD brain, because it can be competitive, focuses. It hyper focuses. It gets locked in, and you would knock that task out or knock that work out and do it exquisitely. Okay. But here's the thing. Don't procrastinate. That's the problem, right? Because we know that we can do this, when I say us ADHDers, don't procrastinate because you set yourself up for burnout, mental burnout, ADHD burnout, which I have been through. And let me tell you something, that ain't no punk. You will literally, it will be hard for you to think. It's bad, okay? So set you some timers. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait till the last minute. That's an old, don't fall for that one, man, okay? And if you're looking for more information about ADHD and maybe you don't want to go to a doctor or you don't have the time to go to a doctor, look on YouTube, look up my fellow ADHDer at ADHD Vision. That is the name of his channel, ADHD Vision. And also on YouTube, look up Dr. Tracy Marks. She's also on Instagram too. For techniques, they give you techniques, they explain things to you, they break it down to you, okay? Listen, man, it's only a disorder if you allow it to disorder your life. If you or someone you know are dealing with ADHD, you or they are not alone, all right? Don't let life kill you, and don't let the enemy steal your joy. Next episode, The Covert Narcissist. Peace and blessing.